into your future right now at training.com.au.
An Italian delight overnight as we saw the Azzurri make their fourth European Championship final. Hello and welcome to Twilight Football. My name is Ed Gooden. Alongside me, a young debutante, Willem. How are you, man?
I'm good, Ed. Fantastic to be here. Thanks very much for having me on. And yeah, not a bad time to jump on for the first time. European final just days away.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what your night looked like or your morning looked like this morning, but for me it was sitting at work, sleepily watching the game.
Yeah, I've heard you on the graveyard shifts at your other station.
Yeah, at the undisclosed gig. What did it look like for you? What did you do?
It wasn't too bad this morning. I've actually, would you believe I've just timed my run just ever so slightly off. I've run out of Moccona instant coffee late in the tournament. Only 3 games to go. I've run out. So this morning it was a quick dip down to the
Rookie
7-Eleven. I missed the national anthems, which is never good when Italy are playing. But,
why even bother watching the game after you've missed the national anthems?
Especially with the Azzurri up and about. But,
yeah.
No, got the national anthems in at half time and managed to get the full 90 and then the extra 30 and the penalties in. So it was a fantastic morning.
You beauty. Everyone kind of got their money's worth, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah. Last night, me and Pakur, producer Pakur, this evening, we were at the Oakley Cannons for South Melbourne game, the FFA Cup.
Didn't go Pakur's way.
No, didn't quite, but, she's extremely neutral. She's, she only gets paid to support Oakley. She doesn't actually support Oakley. But South Melbourne running out winners on penalties. And then, of course, the Italian game this morning ending in a very, very similar way. How much Euros have you watched?
I have watched a fair bit. I've been in. I've actually been surprised with how good a rhythm I've been in. Sometimes with the Champions League and these things, you sort of struggle to get up at times. I'm not that invested in European football, but then when the international tournaments roll around, I find myself sort of springing up and actually being alert. The Moccona instance certainly helps. But yeah, watched all the Dutch, pretty much the entire Group C. I think it was the Dutch were in with Ukraine, North Macedonia, and Austria. Watched most of the knockout matches, a couple of the 2 and 5s across the weekends. Get a little bit tough, but no, watched a fair bit of it and
good on you.
Thoroughly enjoyed.
Preparing
Yourself?
For very little. This was actually this is the first game I watched.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only
no sort of half allegiances that you like to spring up at. Like for me, I've got the Dutch background. Only watch the Dutch at major tournaments, and all of a sudden everybody wants to know my opinion on the rotating midfield and whether the wing backs are the way to go. There's no allegiance for you that you all of a sudden pop up and claim you're an expert on.
I am British.
Okay.
More specifically English.
No wonder you've popped your head up at this time of the tournament.
I know. Hello, look at me, the big supporter. No, it's just a little bit too early for me. The times are just really, really bad. 2 a.m. literally unwatchable. There's no circumstance where I can warrant that.
Fair enough.
It's not going to happen. And then 5 a.m., like this morning worked perfectly. I'm feeling comfortable in the new role. I can relax a little bit, have it on, and then you can watch the game. So it worked out well. But I really need to get a little bit more focused on the football if I'm going to be appearing on air. Yeah, you've done your preparation.
I have indeed.
So the Italians were quite decent. I would say, I saw a tweet the other day that said Italy won the match, but Spain won our hearts.
Right.
Did you feel that way? Or
I think so. I think Spain won the first half as well. I thought Italy were more or less shell-shocked, and they, so much of the chat going forward in this tournament has been that Mancini sort of dropped the Catenaccio and the defensive mindset, but I think they actually really fell back heavily on that, and they were under siege for vast majorities of the first half. And for a long time, it looked like it was going to be that sort of old Italian smash and grab, one-goal game. I thought Spain, through Dani Olmo and Pedri, really bossed the ball.
How good was Dani Olmo?
Dani Olmo's awesome. He's a player who I haven't seen much of before. I don't watch a lot of Bundesliga, admittedly. He's with RB Leipzig.
Fake club, if you didn't know.
Yes, no, I did know
that.
So that didn't impress me. I watched him for Spain. I'm like, what a pure, natural, beautiful footballer. And then I saw his club and I went, oh, okay.
Bit of a fake club. Yeah, we always make sure that we disclose whenever we're talking about RB Leipzig that there is no link to the energy drink brand Red Bull.
No.
Just wanting
Russ and Ball Sport, is
it not? Russ and Ball Sport, yes. A fake word that they made up.
A made-up word.
Literally a made-up word. Doesn't exist in German.
Be like a grants.
What's a grants?
Like agreement, but it's not real.
Oh.
It's just made up.
Well, kind of every word is made up, actually, when you think about it.
Someone, somewhere It's just Rasenballsport was a more sort of recent made-up word.
Do you speak Dutch?
I don't, unfortunately. Big regret.
I know a couple of Dutch words, and one of them is a swear word, so I'm only going to say one word.
Okay, go on.
And I'll do this to summarize Alvaro Morata's performance until the penalty.
Okay.
And that was lekker.
Lekker, like, as in tasty.
Yeah, tasty.
Yeah.
It was pretty tasty. That goal, delicioso.
I'll go
The
you one.
penalty, no bueno.
I'll go you one better. Lekker is like smakelijk,
Schmackleck.
delicious.
Trying to think of other Dutch words, but I'm promising you now.
That's
You know,
as
I'm
far
going
as
to
I'm
turn the
going.
mic off. All right, for those who didn't hear that, it was egregious. This was the most Alvaro Morata performance I've ever seen. Really.
Yeah, disappointing, especially after the winner he scored the other day for him to be able to come on. I thought he should have started because Oyarzabal,
Yeah.
he looks to me like he plays sort of like a 37-year-old. I can't believe he's 24 and might be coming up against our Ollie Roos at the Olympics. He was disappointing for me, so I thought that Morata had come on and scored the winner the other day, and they still couldn't trust him to start. It was disappointing. So then when he came on and scored the goal, I thought, this is it. He's finally answered all his critics.
Yeah.
The tide's going to turn. The narrative around Morata is going to change for good. And then he spurned another decent opportunity in extra time, and then of course the penalty never looked like it.
It was such a bad penalty.
It was.
I said this to Nick Debano at when it missed. I was like, that was one of the worst penalties I've seen. No credit to the goalkeeper. I don't think it would have even rolled in. It was so piss weak.
Wasn't ideal.
No, it wasn't ideal.
Our man Danny Olmo as well.
Yeah, he skied it.
Shanked his.
That really.
How many assured touches on the ball throughout the game? And then the one that counts the most, unfortunately, is the one that'll be remembered.
Because he, again, plays for a fake club. Let's move on to who Italy may potentially be meeting, either England or Denmark in the final. That game is at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. What are your vibes?
I think it's going to be England. I think a team that, there's all this sort of extraneous talk around England, but I think at the moment the cold hard fact you've got to look at is the fact that they've scored 8 goals and are yet to concede.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Solid, and the vast majority of their issues have been sort of wrangling with that sort of outside chat, particularly the game against Germany. By far the better side, but it was almost the history they were playing against in themselves. So those goals have actually started to flow now. I think the Ukraine game will give them a fair bit of confidence. I think Denmark have been sort of running off fumes a little bit, and they scored 4 goals in consecutive games and have been excellent. But I think it'll be if England can get their heads in the game early, I think they're by far the superior team.
I think that if England were more of a villain and a lot of Australia didn't have this sort of half connection to England as a country, then I think a lot more people would be tipping Denmark.
Okay.
But because they're not England aren't the full-on villain, you can kind of half support them. People are tipping them. But if it was Germany versus Denmark, I reckon most people would be going Denmark, going, Denmark are just going to power through. They're going to continue the momentum. Do it for Christian Eriksen.
Barrack for the underdog sort of thing.
Exactly. But England are already so underdog that it's kind of hard to barrack for Denmark.
Under the dog.
Yeah, they are both of these. I mean, me being half English, I do kind of want them to win. And I also think they'd have the best chance of beating Italy. But then again, I'd also feel bad for Nick Debano. So,
yeah, okay. No, I think if Denmark win, I think Italy win on Sunday. I think if England go through, they'll have gone through. They've sort of got a broader squad. Southgate's rotated his squad pretty well as well. There's plenty of fresh legs. It's not like they've sort of ground to this point. Not to say Denmark have either, but I think there's that many options. And I think particularly at Wembley as well. Let's not discount the Eriksen factor. It's still a factor. It's happened so long ago. They've done so well to get through 3, 4, 5 games. Another game I think will be tough for Denmark, whereas I think England will, if they can manage that expectation, will have a far better chance of beating Italy.
I think the fact that Harry Kane is really coming into his stride is obviously a massive plus for England. Raheem Sterling obviously has performed really, really well this tournament.
Yep.
Someone I'd look to get a little bit more out of is that kind of across the front three of Mason Mount, Jadon Sancho, and then Marcus Rashford. Hasn't been a huge amount, but I might just be asking for too much.
Yeah, maybe a little bit quiet from Mason Mount, but let's not forget the weapon that Southgate sort of keeps wrapped in plastic until he really needs him is Grealish.
Yes.
And it was surprising to see. It wasn't surprising to see him come off the bench and really turn the game against the tiring German defenders. What was surprising was that he wasn't then used at all against Ukraine.
Not at all. Literally nothing.
So that really surprised me. You would have thought a player like that, so dynamic, full of confidence as well. You would have thought, okay, get out there on the park, even if it's as a sub the next time. But yeah, maybe we're going to see Grealish start and Southgate really sort of hit the pull trigger, case of emergency sort of button.
I think it'd be hard not to start him. I'm just imagining Sterling, Grealish, Mount, and it being quite devastating.
Sterling, Grealish, Mount, yeah.
That'd be quite nice. And then Harry Kane up top.
And Harry Kane. And it's been good that Southgate's been, and the press as well, have been patient with Harry Kane because, look, he probably carried some sort of injury in, and in recent times gone by, I think back to Wayne Rooney at the 2010 World Cup, had a couple of slow ones to start, and he was savaged, really. So it's been uncharacteristic of England to sort of hold their nerve, hold their tongue, and you know, Kane is a class player. So as the tournament rolls on, with a bit of help from Sterling and Grealish, he's come into it.
Also, shout-outs to Jordan Henderson for scoring a goal. Yeah,
that was the one that he needed on his resume, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Such a servant for Liverpool, for Sunderland prior to that, and for England as well. A player like that deserved a goal, and at Wembley as well. It was in Rome, wasn't it? So, 6 months ago it would have been, or maybe 12 months ago, it would have been surprising to think England would go this far in a major tournament without him as a starting primary holding mid, but he's been sort of usurped. You know, he's had his injury, and then Rice and Calvin Phillips have sort of taken those spots, and he just seems sort of that humble team man who's happy to realise this is the circumstance. When I get my chance, I need to have an impact, and that's what he's done against Ukraine. I
think he's totally fine with it as well. He'd be the most mature head almost in the entire tournament, maybe behind Chiellini and Bonucci.
Yeah, well, you don't win sort of Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues when you're the skipper if you're not a sort of galvanising figure. Yeah.
You know, we almost sold him to Fulham for Clint Dempsey.
We being?
Liverpool, sorry.
You didn't tell me which part of England you half originate from.
From Telford, which is kind of in the Midlands.
Okay.
Extremely boring.
Black country sort of area?
Kind of. It's not that close to Birmingham. It's a little bit further out. But I also lived in Coventry for a little bit.
Okay.
As well.
Fair enough.
Which is equally terrible.
But you are a Liverpool man.
Liverpool man, just because when I was a young boy, I was watching the 2005 Champions League final.
Okay.
And they were victorious.
They were indeed.
Just a quick little shout out to that game.
My very minimal English allegiance goes to Man United for a similar reason, except the first one I watched probably was the 08 Champions League against Barca, and they lost. Sorry, excuse me. They won the 08 one against Chelsea, but they lost the 09 one against Barca, and I thought, well, I've seen them lose. Now I want to see them win in my team. And then it just sort of fizzled out from there, and I never really felt the love.
No, fair enough. I feel like that happens to every Manchester United fan. Apparently Josh is a Manchester United fan.
Wouldn't know.
But exactly.
Wouldn't even know he's a Melbourne Victory man.
Have you met Josh?
I have. He's just a passionate NPL advocate from what I can gather. That's what he tells me.
He's just an NPL supporter and a Savlaki supporter. That's all he supports. All right, let's jump off to a break. On the other side, what do you want to talk about?
Not so sure. You tell me.
I have no idea. Let's find out.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Listening to FNR Football Nation Radio.
With the right qualification, there's no telling where your career could take you.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The moon might be a bit of a stretch, but But whether you are looking to progress your existing career, start a new one, rejoin the workforce, or get better at a hobby, training.com.au is here to help. At training.com.au, you can answer a couple of simple questions and instantly find out what courses are available for you. It costs nothing, and it could change your life.
The Eagle has landed.
Find your future right now at training.com.au.
Welcome back to Twilight Football. If you are just joining us, we concluded our wonderful Euro conversation where we talked about how much football you've been watching and how little I've been watching. But we both managed to watch the game this morning, and we were both equally astounded by how very Alvaro Morata was, and the fact that Italy are on their way through.
Italy are on their way through. I think it'd be deserved. I think I like Mancini. I like the way that they've had a couple of injuries, but it hasn't gotten them down. They've stuck pretty true to their new sort of way of playing. But yeah, when they needed it, I like the way that they sort of fell back on that old traditional layer of being able to grind it out. And I think for it to be a truly sort of fitting. I said earlier that England have scored the 8 goals and haven't conceded. I think for it to be a nice rounded tournament for Italy, you want to beat the best. You don't want to sort of roll in and have had them knocked out early. So I think, if they can beat England, they will have ticked every box.
So there was obviously the Euros going on. Playing second fiddle, of course, to the game that was played last night in the FFA Cup between Oakley Cannons and South Melbourne. And to join us in this discussion about the mighty Cannons falling short to Hellas is Oakley Cannons' own Pakua Frimpong. Pakua, welcome to the studio.
It's tough, I'm not going to lie. I'm a bit upset.
Yeah. Are you upset or are you fake upset?
No, I'm upset. I'm upset. Obviously, I don't like to see the team lose. I was actually very invested in the penalty shootouts.
Yeah.
Even though the game was quite dull, that moment really brought out my sports ego.
It was a really dull game.
Yes, it was.
Willem, you weren't there to watch it. I'll give you a rundown. South Melbourne were meant to get pumped. Seriously, like absolutely destroyed. And they looked okay. And Oakley looked bad. Mm-hmm. There were a couple chances here or there, nothing coming. Go to extra time, nothing happens. I'd actually left at that point.
Right.
And I was in the car listening to the game while driving my mates home who I went with. Mm-hmm. And penalty shootout. Couple players missed, couple players scored.
Did you make the sort of mad U-turn to get back for the penalty shootout?
Hell
or too
no.
Far gone by
Hell
that
no. It was so cold as well.
It was actually extremely cold.
Yeah.
With all the people I was talking to before the game, we were expecting Oakley to win this game. We'd just come off a 6-1 victory over Dandy City on Friday night.
Yeah.
But I kind of had forgotten that we'd played so many games. Could it just become a blur? So I'm not making excuses for losing, but I'm going to make an excuse for losing.
You're just giving reasons.
I'm giving justifications.
Yeah.
If you play 6 games in 18 days as a semi-professional footballer, I have no issue with you not being your 100% self. And it's not even like they got thrashed in the 90 minutes. Like, it was 0-0. Like,
yeah.
They still defended reasonably well.
So for those at Oakley maybe getting a little bit unnecessarily upset about the game, do you say calma?
What does that mean? I'm not down. I'm not bilingual like that, Ed.
That's okay. Well, let's talk about what's coming up next in the FFA Cup. So for those in Victoria, the 2 teams that are going through to the national stage, I believe it's called the national stage?
Yeah,
just the last 32.
Last 32?
When it goes national.
We can roll with that. Avondale and South Melbourne. Avondale, of course, they're just killing it this season. Top of the table in the NPL Victoria. Now through to the big money stage, as we like to call it. And then South Melbourne, who were doing pretty good in the NPL, lost 2 games. And because NPL Victoria is just crazy, they're now down to 9th, which is just ridiculous. And the fairy tale story of the FFA Cup is Monbulk Rangers.
Really? They're still in?
Well, I don't think they've actually played yet.
So it's tonight is the final 2 playoffs. So 2 games for the final 2 spots.
Oh, is it tonight?
Yeah. So Port Melbourne are in or they're not in, but they're in the last 4 for the last 2 spots. So there's Monbulk, there's Port Melbourne. There's another couple in there as well.
So it's Monbulk versus Hume, and then Port Melbourne versus Moreland.
Moreland Zebras.
Yeah.
El Juve.
Yeah. the traditional Juve.
Yeah. Oh, this is actually going to be it's going to be decent, I think. I think Port Melbourne are like a really annoying team to play. Having watched Oakley play them earlier in the season, they're just quite like if they show up, they can beat anyone, but they just play such frustrating brand of football.
They are frustrating.
It's really annoying to watch.
They're my favourite team in the NPL, Port.
That says a lot about you, Ed.
It does. I mean, they're probably the closest team to.
I was going to say because it's the shortest drive.
Yeah, probably. They're very, very close. I'm in. Where do you live, Willem? Actually,
I am in South Yarra at the minute.
Oh, mate,
Originally
you're
Bentley,
even-
Ormond, McKinnon sort of man.
Yeah, those are suburbs.
Just south of Caulfield.
Yeah,
Lived in them all. It's a nice pocket of the world.
lovely. Where are you?
The southeast, Berwick.
Berwick, yeah.
It's not, yeah.
Berwick is southeast.
It is.
I thought I was southeast in Balaclava.
Berwick is definitely, that is not southeast, okay.
let's talk
It's
about
not even
this.
south, Ed, come on.
Well, let's talk because my sister literally asked me before. She's like, when people ask me where I live, what region, she just says, "Oh, Balaclava," and people are like, "Where is that?" And she
you should
says,
just say, I live near Chapel Street, like
So
2 minutes
just-
away from Chapel Street.
Yeah,
Just
Just
south of South Yarra.
"Yes, south."
South
Yeah,
South Yarra.
yeah.
I don't even, that's not south to me at all. I do not
It's
even think
it's
that's
far
just
north.
it's just kind of
literally.
Bayside.
It's the city. Literally, so you tell me you're from Balaclava, I'll say you're from the city.
I say inner city.
Yeah.
Inner city lefty.
There's no south in there. No north, east, southwest, nothing. Just city.
My girlfriend's in Dandenong. What's that?
Southeast.
I think that's just east.
No, it's literally southeast. It's a 15-minute drive on the M1. Just view.
Yeah, you just smash it down.
Yeah, it's that's the southeast. Ed. Come on, I'm telling you, I've lived in Dandenong too.
Did you
Southeast.
really?
I did.
Whereabouts?
Dandenong North. I've
Wait,
migrated.
no, she lives in Dandenong. Whereabouts in Dandenong North?
Um,
Trust me, I know all the
So
street
to
names.
me, that's all just standing on.
Yeah, that's the.
I lived near a high school called Lindell. I to be fair, I only lived there for a year after I moved to Australia, and then I've lived in my house like my whole life basically.
Your house.
My house. Yeah.
Must
I
be
paid
nice
for
being
it.
a homeowner.
Hey, I make a lot of money.
I mean, you work here, of course.
Exactly.
I mean, if we want to continue the personal discussions, how are we all doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Really.
all cruising along.
Going well.
Yeah,
Willem, how's it been on FNR?
It's been fantastic.
Really?
Good couple of weeks. Yeah.
yeah.
I like that for
Enjoyed
you.
it so
It's
far.
been awesome having you in.
Yeah.
Really,
Thank you very
it goes without saying. But I was talking to and we can talk about this on air because it's wholesome. I was talking to Lockie Flanagan
Oh, yes.
the other night, and we were talking about who was coming in this evening, and he immediately said, "Oh, it's Willem. You'll be totally fine.
We're sweet.
He's extremely competent
Beautiful.
and just good."
Well, it's nice to make new friends,
Yeah.
especially around football.
Oh, friends.
Oh,
Oh, football friends. No, it is nice actually. Well, are there any clubs here? Oh, you know who excites me
There's
actually.
a couple I'm excited about.
Yeah. Who's it for you?
Well, there's a couple of first timers. The first one is a powerhouse from the west, ECU Joondalup.
Joondalup.
Is it Joondalup?
what is it?
I don't know
Yes.
how else I'd pronounce it.
They are currently managed by Kenny Lowe.
That's astounding.
They
Really?
the nickname is the Jacks.
Yeah.
They've got one of the best logos. It's like a jack on a playing card, as in King Queen Jack. They've produced Brandon O'Neill, Adam Taggart, Royce Williams. Adam Taggart's just about one of my all-time favourite Socceroos.
Yeah.
That's a little secret I haven't let out of the bag on FNR just yet.
Oh, it's out now.
But Joondalup, they're in, and they have been they've been pretty dirty not to have been involved in the FFA Cup last 32 so far, so they get their chance to finally stake their claim on the national stage. And the other one is little-known Edge Hill United. They're from far north Queensland. They're an amateur side, so they're not even
They're a
Wow.
football
they're
team
not
in
even
Queensland?
semi-pro. Edge Hill United, and they had their to get through to the final 32. They had their knockout against a team with another great name, Mackay, Whitsundays, United, Powerhouse. All
Is
of
that
it.
the whole
These are all
name?
part of the names?
It's they got 5 names in one. It was a
You're kidding me.
merger. I'll get it up in a minute, but yeah, they're from the Whitsundays, but they're quite a force in Queensland NPL. But Edge Hill took it up to them. They flew out.
Hell yeah.
They flew out their coach, their staff, their life members, the people who sort of cook the pies and the people who do the canteen. It was a whole club affair.
That's sick.
And they took them all up there and they knocked off the Magpies Crusaders. So Edge Hill United, probably
Shout-outs.
one of the smaller clubs to come up on the national stage as yet. Very excited to see what they can do.
You know who's got me an up and about? and this was because I did a interview a couple of hours ago with a former Gold Coast United player.
Yes.
Well, the club is Gold Coast United. They are through to the national stage, and there has been a very weak but meaningful conversation regarding a potential Clive Palmer comeback if Gold Coast United make it to the FFA Cup final.
Okay.
Maybe him parachuting in to Amy Park or wherever it's played.
Parachuting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say a word about parachuting in at Clive Palmer.
No?
So let's move on from that. Keep going, Ed. Come on. Next.
Trudging very carefully.
Very carefully.
I don't think he'll be listening.
No. I'm okay. I really am. I don't want... I'm a
Clive
good
would have
person.
the power to crush this whole station.
He would.
Like, he would crush
Literally,
whoever he would be under.
Imagine if
I just
Clive
want- I just- I
bankrolled
don't
this
want-
station.
I don't want the dinosaurs at Clive's like Dinosaur Park or whatever to come here and attack me. So I'm gonna stay away from it.
If
Yeah.
Clive ran this station, we'd be running for local council in 3 years' time.
We would be.
Just like Christian
And
Reese.
our ads would be
Yeah.
everywhere on Facebook as well. Fun fact: Clive Palmer is one of the biggest ad campaign people in Victoria. I learned that in my marketing class.
I've got the name of that club up as well, just for the record.
Yeah.
Mackay and Whit Sundays, Magpies, Crusaders United.
That's astoundingly poor form.
So that's when everybody goes to the negotiating table. They say, okay, we're going to merge, but we're not giving up our identity.
Do you
And
know
then
what you
after
do
much
though?
debate and discussion, they go, just throw the whole lot in and see what happens.
With stuff like that, surely you just take the first letter of everybody's name and
Have a
you
look at
just,
this
like,
crest. They've got a magpie, they've got a crusader, they've got some soccer balls, they've got some swords or some footballs rather. It's all going on.
Okay,
And
that's-
it
it's-
was still not enough to defeat the might of Edge Hill United.
Search it up, guys. It's a nice logo.
There was a club that merged, if we're talking about this, my former junior club, HJSC, Hampton Junior Soccer Club, recently had a merger with Brighton Soccer Club. And I'm just trying to find...
down at Dendy Park.
Yeah, Dendy Park.
That's an institution, Brighton at Dendy.
It is,
No
isn't it?
longer.
No, well, Hampton actually didn't have a... they didn't have a senior team. So Brighton senior team merged with Hampton.
Okay.
And so now Hampton has a senior team, but also doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're called Hampton East Brighton Soccer Club
Hampton
or Football
East
Club.
Brighton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which kind of has a decent ring to it, doesn't it?
Why don't you just go by Heb?
Heb.
The
Heb.
Hebbers.
The Hebbers.
The old Heb. The Heb boys.
Do you know what that? Do you know that? Hey, the not the Macarena. That song that's like the Macarena. Hey, da-da-da.
Hey, soul sister.
No.
Not train.
I do know the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
Hey,
that would.
ha-ha.
Yeah,
Hey, yeah, that
that's
one.
the
Yeah.
one. I feel like that would be their intro music, as you know, and all the plays and they score. They'd just be their dance. Come on, Heb,
If you guys can stall for long enough, I might be able to find it.
Heb, Heb, Heb,
Heb.
Heb.
Hip,
Uh-huh.
happity.
Who else do we have in the NPL? Who do you go for, Will? Actually, I do know the answer. You go for Victory, don't you?
I'm a Melbourne Victory man.
How do you feel? How do you emotionally feel after being a Victory fan?
I feel like I've been through the ringer, but you're still coming from that point of, we've won so much, you can't really complain too hard.
Get
it's
out
not
of
a-
here.
No, it's not an arrogance thing.
Here we go.
It's just that I think in a sporting sense, I have a long memory and I'm able to approach hard times and good times equally with a holistic, okay, if you look at the 15-year history of the club.
That doesn't.
How
mean
long does that extend out for? If in 30 years you haven't won another thing, do you go, well, look, in
You become an Arsenal
in
fan, is what you're saying?
45, yeah, basically. In 45 years, we won, how many titles you won? 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should
That's a
know.
title every 10 years. That's not bad.
Yeah.
You'll
No.
take that.
No, I'm this season. I would like to see some improvement. And I think, as proven over a long time, John Didalitza and Tony Popovic know what they're doing. I
They do a
think,
little something.
Victory fans are in a position now where they can't complain about whatever style Popovic rolls out because there is no distinguished style. There hasn't been a style for a long time. So whatever he wants to play, you just got to go with it.
For you, who are the players on the current Victory list that you actually would like to keep?
I would like to keep Barnett. I would have liked to have kept Traore, but he's gone now.
Yep.
A couple of the kids re-signed this week. Nishikawa's gone. Villa-Pillay re-signed. There was a little bit to work with there. I think Matt Acton's still signed as a keeper. I would have liked to have seen him possibly moved on.
Oh,
Ooh, that's an interesting
a
take.
non-signing.
A non-signing.
Why
a
is that?
sacking. I would say.
Why would you say that?
Because I don't think he's up to the standard of an A-League team that wants to aspire to play finals.
So you're saying he should play for the Oakley Cannons? Is that what you're
Sure,
saying?
I think he'd probably, no disrespect to Oakley, but he'd probably
Hey,
dominate it.
Oakley
Imagine-
Cannons are the biggest team in
That's not an
Victoria,
unfair
okay?
statement.
Imagine him and goal, Wilfred Burney up top.
Could you imagine?
That'd be
We'd
amazing.
be elite.
Let's save our Wilfred Burney conversation for the next segment in the show because we have to ensure that we have 4 podcasts.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
With the right qualification, there's no telling where your career could take you.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The moon might be a bit of a stretch, but whether you are looking to progress your existing career, start a new one, rejoin the workforce, or get better at a hobby, training.com.au is here to help. At training.com.au, you can answer a couple of simple questions and instantly find out what courses are available for you. It costs nothing, and it could change your life.
The eagle has landed.
Find your future right now at training.com.au.
And they're Roma have risen from their ruins. Nonetheless, the Greek god in Rome. The unthinkable unfolds before our eyes.
You are listening to FNR Football Nation Radio.
Buying your electricity from the big energy companies is now the most expensive way to power your home. In fact, the average electricity bill in Australia has more than doubled in the last 15 years. But not for the ones who went solar. Unlike your electricity bill, the power of solar has actually come down, and there's also government rebates available. So what are you waiting for? Join the 2 million households already saving hundreds of dollars every year. See how much your roof could be making you at solarpowerco.com.au. Go solar and get $500 cash back with the Solar Power Co, Australia's most trusted solar brand. solarpowerco.com.au.
And they're
Welcome back to Twilight Football. Just joining us, last section of the show, we really talked about whatever we wanted, wasn't it? Hello,
Indeed.
yeah, NPL chat, FFA Cup chat, the whole shebang. Pakura, are you joining us for this segment? Yeah, she's on her way. What do you want to talk about now, man?
We spoke earlier about a couple of clubs that have merged
Yes.
in the NPL and just around the local scene here in Victoria. Are you aware that as we speak, like tectonic plates shifting over time, entire leagues are merging?
Wow.
So there's been talk for a little while that the Bene League will come into existence soon. The Belgian, is it the Jupiler Pro League, I believe it is, and of course the Dutch Eredivisie.
I remember this.
So this is very much on the cards. This could still go ahead. So the idea there is that you've got two reasonably strong teams, sort of middle feeders at the big European dinner table, and if they were to merge, they'd see sort of the rising tide lift all ships, and you'd see Dutch and Belgian sides having stronger competition week to week, and going on to bigger and better things in the Champions League. But there's another one,
yeah.
and this would blow the Bene League right out of the water.
Is that what it's called officially? Bene League?
I think it's a working title.
I hope it is.
Some sponsor will jump onto it, surely.
Yeah, they'll do that.
But the MLS, the little MLS,
Yeah.
and the Liga MX, the Mexican top tier.
That
So
makes sense.
There's talk that, this is going to be a huge merger, mutually beneficial. Both I think one of them's got a commissioner, Don Garber. The other one's got a president. Don't quote me on his name.
Presidente?
In Mexico, El Presidente. They're both pretty keen on it. The Mexican sides want to just professionalise their operations a little bit further. And the US obviously want to tap into the massive Latino market that follows the Mexican league and Latino football from inside the US. So a little bit like your sort of Euro snobs, if you like, who won't follow the A-League or the NPL, but they're watching all the Premier League and the European stuff abroad.
Yeah.
There's obviously a huge population of Mexican football fans in the States. So if you could get them to follow their side, but they're actually playing in the US every second week, and imagine the away days crossing the border down to Mexico.
That would be mental.
So yeah, this could change the face of league football over the next 10 to 20 years.
There's already 27 clubs in the MLS.
Yep. So there's 27 in the MLS and there's 18 in the Liga MX. So that makes a nice tidy 2-tiered system: promotion, relegation. Closed system below that. You wouldn't have a 40.
Honestly,
don't quote me on my maths, but a 46 team comp. But yeah, the 2 tiers would work.
Anything to make the MLS more bearable for me.
You don't like the MLS?
Not a fan.
You didn't like Soccer Moses the other day?
Come on,
I thought
bro.
that was
Not at
You
all.
didn't like the Gibson guitar?
Not at all. When I used to ponder into illegal streams of football matches, if there were American commentators, would the match be on mute? Yes.
Yeah.
American commentators for me, I can't do it. And the football's probably really, really good. And I've seen, I tuned in for Zlatan's first game. That was nice. The Zlatan overhead kick, that was nice.
Yeah.
I just don't want to sit there
The
and
Wayne
watch.
Rooney goal? You
Nice.
seen that?
That was
Yep.
nice. I just don't want to sit there and watch a bunch of Americans play football. It's just a bit
Fair
of,
enough,
just a bit of arrogance. I don't like it.
You can't argue. It is flying. Atlanta, I think they're maybe 3 or 4 or even 5 seasons in. They're getting 60 to 70,000 to their purpose-built
Because
stadium.
Americans have nothing else to do.
Outrageous.
Well, they've got 5 or 6 sports to choose from if they wish, and they're seemingly flocking to. But
They-
you guys did see Soccer Moses, right?
Yeah, I did.
Walking down
Yeah.
the stairs
It was
and
legendary.
playing the riff.
No, I haven't.
He parted the
Let
crowd.
my people
too.
goal.
Yeah, let my people go. I feel like he could have
Let
come up
my
with...
people slay, I think, or shred.
Yeah, let my people shred. Yeah.
It was phenomenal. But one thing I did think about that, obviously we as Australians and any proper football fan around the world looks at that and goes, that is gross. But what is completely devoid in that situation is the cultural cringe that we have here in Australia. You would not see anyone in the stands watching Soccer Moses shred saying they don't do that in the Premier League.
Yeah.
They don't do that in England. That's not real.
Yeah.
So there
It's
is
true.
that sense of inherent pride that actually I reckon lifts the MLS. Whether we like it or not, they don't care.
They
It is
do-
actually growing based
They've
on
also
their
got
own
fans
fuel.
there too, so that's nice.
They do some rogue stuff.
They do.
It's
But
the
that's the States as
It's
a whole.
because Americans have no shame, so they will do anything for a good time. And you know what? I appreciate that level, but I just also don't want to watch Americans play football.
No, me neither. I'm not saying I like it, but I did look at that Soccer Moses and I thought if
saying
that
that.
happened in Australia, people's heads would
I'm
explode.
not saying I like it, but I find it interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How was it not?
Did you hear about
Let
what
my people shred.
Let my people bloody shred. Do you hear about what because that was at the Columbus Crew
I
game?
believe so.
At that same game, they have a setup up in the stands with some vinyl pressing machines. You might have heard about this
I
already.
haven't, no.
But every goal scorer receives a vinyl pressing of the commentary of their goal.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Isn't that amazing?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the best thing I've heard since the Brisbane Roar
Yeah.
had the audio wave on the back of the neck when Partaloo scored the header in the 2011 Granny. And so
Oh.
on the back, it looked like some strange.
They had
squiggle.
that on the
It
kit.
was actually on the kit. But this is another level.
That's-
See, the MLS, they do things their own way. They just
do,
take
they do.
the game to new
I've got to
levels.
give them some credit. You're right.
Vinyl press.
That's a lot of vinyl though when you're thinking about it.
Oh, it's a complete waste.
How much
You play it once and you'd be like, I want
Bloody
to score another one next
bloody
week.
waste of vinyl. Well, Columbus Crew, who arguably have the worst name in the business.
Hey, at least you said it, Ed. At least you said it.
Yeah. Have you guys seen their old logo?
No, what is it?
Are you serious? Haven't seen it?
Nope. Twitter's a scary place, Ed. I don't like
Look
to
it
say
up.
stuff.
They've got a new one now.
Columbus who? Crew.
Columbus
Okay.
Crew.
Columbus Crew.
Yeah, they're still called Columbus Crew.
Okay.
Uh,
I don't want to see this.
Yeah,
So
the-
that's their old one on the left there. Is that right?
If what are you looking here? what do
Oh,
you-
is it the one with the 3 men? Is that their first one?
Yeah.
Interesting. Is that meant to be like people who work hard, like blue collar workers?
Who knows, really? But the fact that it's 3 men.
Looks like John Candy
Yeah.
in the Blues.
Women don't
Doesn't
play
it, doesn't
football.
it? What was that?
Women don't play football.
According to Columbus, no.
Is that going back to Christopher Columbus or something like that?
Oh,
Oh, that would
probably.
make sense.
I think it
make
might. It's
so
still
much
weird.
sense.
I agree.
He's
with you.
already a problematic man.
Big time.
Well, extremely, actually.
Massively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
Okay.
that might be what it's.
Who is our guy?
Cook.
Cook.
Oh my goodness, I'm wow.
He got decapitated, did he not, the other day?
The statue?
Honestly, I was like,
Well,
I'm
the start
sure
of
he's
NAIDOC
been
week.
past the YA for a while.
Oh, yeah, he has.
Willem.
Yeah.
Oh, he's long gone, as is Columbus, but still they live on in football logos.
Yes.
Strange world.
Could you imagine if that, like, somebody wanted to start a new football team and they were like, we're going to have it as the cook, like the Cookman.
Yep.
Could you imagine?
Cookman.
Cookman, I don't know. It's the first thing that came to my head. Could you imagine the uproar that would, like, cause? That'd be quite an
There'd be
interesting.
riots.
Oh, absolutely. Hopefully.
Be like calling them the Melbourne men.
Yeah.
The Melbourne work men specifically.
With like work and then capital M. To like
Capital
dis-
MEN.
Yeah, distinguish it.
Yeah. Any other notable mergers that you can recall?
Oh, not beyond the Mackay and United with Sunday's Crusaders.
That's iconic. I remember when North Melbourne almost merged, or didn't merge, but they almost went up to the Gold Coast.
Oh, in terms of AFL?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, just last week was the 25th year anniversary of the Fitzroy Lions move up to Brisbane with the Brisbane Bears.
Yeah.
So that's 25 years on now.
Good 25 years?
Yes.
Has to be, right?
Has
3
to be.
flags.
Certainly a good start to it.
Yeah, they
Three
did it.
flags.
They did it
Might
well.
win a flag this year.
Possibly back on the up. Or definitely back on the up.
They're not going to win a flag.
I hope not. I'd have to watch football to give you actually an opinion.
Yeah, same. You know, North Melbourne reached their highest ever membership figures.
You
yeah,
did say
I could
this.
go on a tangent here about AFL membership and the way they count those as well.
Please.
If you wish.
No,
Well,
I'm actually interested. I don't know how it works.
Well, for example, Richmond have hit 100,000 members the last couple of years, but they've got, there's a big difference between paying your $300 or your $250 for your 13-game membership and then paying your $60 for your 3-game membership and then your $50 for your dog membership as an add-on and then your Little Tiger, and that's 4 memberships.
Little Tiger.
But 10, 15 years ago, we would have considered the $250 investment as a member, so teams had 40, 50. Now we're up to 100. That's not,
an
one does
interesting
not
point
equal
you make,
one
actually.
when you have the 3-game and the 2-game and the
Yeah.
home and away. It's not equitable.
That doesn't
it's
make
a
much
lie.
sense.
It's a big market.
The dog one definitely counts.
For sure.
100%.
What?
What are you
Sorry,
talking about?
I don't have any pets, but are you?
Well, clearly not.
but are you like serious?
Yeah,
How
of
does
course
a
it
dog
counts.
membership count?
If anything, it counts more than a human one because the
They've
dog's
got the dog membership packs.
The dog's
Little
not-
woofer. They get the
I
blanket,
honestly
they get the
don't-
bowl.
I couldn't think of anything more ridiculous ever.
the dog's not coming to the game.
That's the problem,
No,
right
but
there.
you don't have to go to the game to be a member.
Maybe that's one you could take to Oakley. And all of a sudden you've got 30,000 members. And it's actually,
Has to stay
it
on the
actually
leash
just
at
looks
the
like a
park,
pound.
but-
Like there's dogs everywhere.
And they can bring them as well.
That would be like when the boys walk in, like the dogs just bark. Like, you know how Richmond had the drums, the dogs just bark and Oakley plays, We play The Business by Tiesto now. Maybe it just be dogs.
And you know what else will be good? No clean up after the Euros. Just set the dogs in.
You know what Oakland
Make
needs
them
to
earn their memberships.
Oakland needs more bins.
Do we?
I had to put my can on one of the
We do have
shelves. Maybe enough bins, but I was intimidated.
accessible bins. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, accessible. I was intimidated by all the men standing around them. I didn't want to go, sorry, boys, just going to put my can of Fanta in the bin here
Why did you get a beer, Ed?
because I was driving like a coward.
What's your drivable can of choice?
Oh, I actually don't drink a lot of soft drink, but I treated myself to a Fanta last night.
That's not I don't actually drink soft drink anymore. I'm out of water. I have like 10 bottles of water in my car at this very moment in time.
Do they in plastic?
I don't want to talk about that.
I had that, and my girlfriend shamed me for it.
Your girlfriend seems to have made you a good human being. Ed.
She has.
She really has.
She has.
Drove you straight to the plastic depot at Cranbourne North and said, dispose.
Dispose of these
Behave.
immediately. No, she just kind of left them there, and she would always say whenever she gets in the car, like, "Oh, I'm really thirsty." And I'm like, "Oh, we got water in the car." And she's like, "I'm not that thirsty."
I want to sacrifice my morals thirsty.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also the fact that there's an ingredient in the plastic that can melt into the water and cause some health issues.
Definitely. That's almost even worse than floating above the water
Yes, it is.
because it's like the silent killer.
No, as in it melts into the water that you're drinking.
Oh, and it leaches into the water and goes
Yeah,
into
yeah.
your body,
Into
not
yours.
the ocean. It doesn't degrade in the ocean.
Our
That's
stupid
what I thought
bodies,
you
not
meant.
the pristine ocean that we must be taking care of.
No, that's terrible. No, plastic's no good at all.
I would say
I do reuse them. Reduce, reuse, recycle. I recycle them as well. So I just want,
But then
I
it
just want
starts
to
to
be,
leach
Okay.
into your body. That's
no, I just
the
want
whole
that to
issue.
be known. Like, I don't just like litter. I like put them in the right bin at least. I'm
Yeah.
a separating plastics kind of person again.
Good on you.
I just want that to be known. I'm not a bad person.
soft plastics. Is it the scrunch? To find out if it's recyclable? Scrunch?
How have we got here?
What about the 7-Eleven coffee cup? You're not meant to recycle that because that's got the inner lining
Yes,
of plastic.
that
That is
goes
it.
in
Sneaky.
You know that's being banned in WA.
Has it?
Really?
They're only drinking Emu Export anyway, so
Oh, yeah.
you wouldn't know what a 7-Eleven coffee is.
7-Eleven, what the? I actually had a 7-Eleven coffee the other day.
Mhm.
I think if you're ranking the horrible coffees,
I think it's up there.
I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to coffee. So let's put them out there. There's Coles, 7-Eleven coffee,
Macca's coffee.
Macca's coffee, Foodery.
That's bottom. I was going to say Fooder is appalling. Fair?
Is that a city
Oh.
like institution? Because I
I
don't know what
think-
Foodery is.
I think Foodery are tied in with Caltex.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
okay.
Yeah,
So I don't- that's why I don't
they're
know
at
what
my
it is.
local Caltex.
I go to Shell.
I know the one in Balaclava.
Oh,
I do, yeah. My girlfriend lives in Balaclava.
Oh,
and
lovely.
I've been to that Foodery early in the morning and had their coffee, and it's just ruined my day.
it's bad. Mine's in the one I go to is on the corner of Glen Huntley Road and Nepean Highway.
Okay, I
Do you
know
know
that one
that?
as well.
Yeah, where the
I was,
Macca's
I was
is.
talking to the one on Inkerman and Chapel.
I go to that. There's the one on Inkerman. Do they have petrol? You have to turn
my car
off-
runs gas, I wouldn't know.
Ooh,
Sorry?
interesting.
It's not bad, half price.
You drive what, a Holden Commodore?
Yes.
That
Wait,
makes
so
sense.
it's half price,
He's
but do
been
you...
stalking me in the car park. I've only been here a week and a half.
Honestly,
Come here, Willem. Wait, so it's half as expensive, but do you run out twice as quickly?
Maybe 2/3 as quickly.
That's a good deal, though. I reckon.
It's a cracking deal.
Yeah.
Car's on its last legs, but I just can't afford to.
What year is it?
02, but it's done 460,000.
You are
Whoa.
kidding me.
460,000.
That could
That's
any
insane.
day now on the freeway. That car is not there
Kaput.
anymore.
It turns off sometimes.
Oh no,
That's
It's just-
exciting.
I have to put the blinkers on, F1, pull into the pits, try again. It's
Box,
not good.
box, box, box.
That's it, exactly
The car
right.
is
I
broken.
feel like Valtteri Bottas every time, just screaming at down.
No,
When are you going to
James.
treat me like Lewis?
When are you going to treat me like Lewis? You have to stop driving the Holden Commodore
That's
You
right.
need
and
to
start
upgrade.
driving a Kia Cappuccino.
Great car,
What is its actual name?
Kia Picanto. It's the XR model.
Pale blue.
Mm.
Have you seen it, Willem?
I have not. No, I don't stalk people in the car park. No idea.
I'm just an automotive
Yeah.
lover.
Is this all from the F1 documentary on Netflix? Has this stemmed from that, or were you a F1 lover before that?
I wasn't an F1 lover, but I liked cars a lot.
Yeah,
So story time.
go for it.
Working at the bottle shop, I met this wonderful old man named Warwick. He came in once and we just got talking. What are your interests? Whatever. It turns out he collects old cars, to be specific, Peugeots from like he has one from the 1970s. Then he had another one from the 1980s. And so I didn't have a car at this point. So he actually offered to sell it to me after we'd had a few more conversations, got to know each other. And now I own a 1985 Peugeot 505 that has caught fire before.
Wow.
Ooh.
Don't worry
Sorry,
about that.
no, you
What
can't
It
just
all
say
turns
it.
off. Just,
Sorry,
You look past those things.
you
Yeah.
can't say it caught fire and not explain how it caught fire because there's so many reasons
Yeah.
for that.
So I was sitting on the highway and I was about to turn right and I noticed a smell. And I look to my left and I see someone in a really shitty looking car. And I'm like, sort out your car, mate. Why does that smell so bad? And then I realized as the plumes of smoke began to rise from my bonnet, it was my shit car. That was, it was my bad car that was catching fire. So I pulled over, opened up the hood and saw flames and immediately ran away super, super quick. Grabbed my stuff from the car and just ran to the other side of the street because my fear was petrol is leaked or oil is leaked or something. Call the fire brigade. They come extremely quickly, probably in 2 to 3 minutes. And they look under the car and they go, oh, that's all good. Like, what do you mean? This car's still on fire. And they're like, no, we can see what it is. I'm like, well, what is it? And it was the rubber casing that surrounded the axle of the front. So
That just sounds unsafe. Having rubber at the bottom. Like, I don't know how cars work, to be fair, but like that just sounds unsafe to me.
well, it's to kind of, ironically, it's a safety feature.
Okay.
Yeah. So, are you a car guy?
I don't know what you've said the last 3 minutes.
Me
I was
too,
just
Willem.
wondering what you said to Warwick next time he came in.
I actually called him and I'm like, car actually caught fire.
Did you get the car from work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's worth like,
These are the connections you get in Balaclava.
no, this was in Sandringham actually.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, even more southeast.
That's not southeast.
Pretty southeast. Yeah, it's worth like, I mean, back then it was probably worth like 7K, and he sold it to me for 1,500.
Very generous.
what a nice
Very
man.
generous. Very generous from Warwick. Shout outs. All right, well, I think we might have to wrap up actually.
We've obviously it's Willem's, first show. He's
Yep.
done really well.
Fuck, bloody killed it, mate. Sorry.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Sorry. Is there a swear jar?
Sorry. There's no swear jar. You want to do a sign off? Or any last any
easily.
last words or?
Nah, it's been good. Let's hope Denmark put up a good show. I still think England will get through. I'm hoping that the boys from ECU Joondalup, the Jacks, get a favourable draw in the FFA Cup on
Yep.
Thursday night. Other than that,
When are they going to change the name?
I think very soon it's going to be the Australia Cup.
Yeah, that would make
apparently. I don't know for sure.
Or the Oakley Cannons Cup.
That's just what you
That'd
hear.
be nice.
Name it after the team that didn't make it through.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
Come
would be
on.
lovely. All right. Well, do you want to know how to sign off?
Go on. Let's
Okay.
learn on air.
All right.